Okay,
So good.
real quick, here's a quick fun retail horror rundown. We are in a tourist town here in Victoria, and Matt and I used to work at the GameStop, the electronics boutique. Hey Liz, downtown, which is where anyone who came off of any cruise or naval ships would come. And here is a selection of questions we were asked by American tourists. We are not saying that all Americans are this ignorant of what Canada is, but these tourists certainly were.
I hate American tourists. Are you guys gonna act it out?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
No. You
Okay.
do the questions, so you've clearly got them in mind. I will just be you.
Okay. If I buy this game here, will it work in America? That's not...
Yes.
Okay,
No.
that's not the craziest question.
Well, I mean, you don't.
That's not the craziest question. How much is this in real dollars?
What it says on the box. Canadian dollars are also real dollars.
No, how much is it in real dollars?
In American money, it is
Yeah, current exchange. Yeah.
current exchange.
If I buy this here, is it in English?
Yup. Jumping off from that one.
Yeah.
What is, from an American tourist visiting from the U.S., how much is this in English?
That one didn't make sense to me either.
No.
How much is this in English was a weird one. But yeah, is it in English? It's like, but
Her numbers are in
Trick
English.
question.
It's in French on the back of the.
No, but
box.
they
Yeah.
were referring to the price.
Yeah.
They were using English to mean U.S.
Oh.
But
Oh.
my favorite by far was walks in, past all the displays, up to the counter, and says, "Do you sell games?"
Yes, we got a few of those where it was literally the scene from
like-
Clerks. It's like big display, muffins, 99 cents. Excuse me, how much is these muffins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
My-
no, we put these here for fun.
I gotta think of one.
Oh yeah,
So-
because
Well,
Ash was our ass man for a while.
Ass man.
So yeah, I used to.
Ben.
So I used to manage a store in Edmonton.
They had them inside your ears.
You could just tell me secrets.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No one else can hear them.
So like on the questions thing, one of my favorite questions was when we would ring up their trade-in value. If I take this game and sell it on Kijiji for more, will I get more money than you're giving me right now?
What
Yeah.
if I sell it?
If I
for
sell
more?
it for more than you're giving me, do I make more money?
Yes.
I think
Ah.
you just answered your own
Brain
questions.
broken.
Oh boy.
Does
And
not
then
compute.
my horror story, and it didn't happen directly to me, but it happened to a coworker, was right around when like Skylanders came out and became like the biggest thing.
Oh yeah.
And one parent was so upset during the Christmas season that they didn't receive it, that one of the coworkers was pregnant. My coworker was pregnant at the time, and they threatened to go to the hospital and murder their baby.
Oh my god. Did you call the police?
No, because they had to hold her, like our coworker, back because she was gonna jump.
No
over.
kidding.
Yeah. So
Matt's old manager at EB GameStop once had an Xbox thrown at his
That was
head.
exactly the story I was going to mention. He refused to take it back. Like they had opened it up and they were like, "Yeah, I want to return this." And he's like, "I'm sorry, it's open. We can't take it back." For whatever reason, they had pulled it out, and all of the various parts were on the table. And the guy just picks up an original like OG Xbox and just wings it at him. And he catches it.
Whoa, like a ninja? Yes, Liz.
Tosses
Thank
it to the
you.
side, jumps over the
Puts
Thank
it
you,
down and says, "Okay, you are going to leave with this Xbox. Would you like me to pack it up, or would you like to do that while I call security?"
Wow.
I'm trying to think of crazy stories.
I just have generic horror stories.
I have a story, but it means
Ooh, hold on, just real quick. 5 minutes left in the Rebel X-Wing hat that the skull is wearing for $11.38.
My hat now.
It's
The
not gonna
impressive
have-
part of that story is that someone was able to lift an original Xbox.
I was like, it's not gonna have the same effect because I'm not gonna say the swear word in this, but I was sort of infamous for a very brief period of time with the manager of EB Games as the girl that swore at the president of EB Games Canada.
Good.
Girl.
As they mentioned, I was the assistant manager at an EB, and we didn't have a manager for X amount of time at our store. So when the conference call came on, I had to do it, and I didn't know how to do a conference call. Like, I didn't know what the protocol was there. I thought you just like said stuff. So we had an emergency countrywide conference call that they timed so that every store was open. And every manager, like head manager across the country was on the line, and it was about how many PlayStation 3s we were getting in. Because there's they had a huge shortage of them, and we figured that we were going to get in like at least 30 per store. But as we found out on the call, it was going to be more like 6 per store. And they were like, this is going to cost us a lot. And so the point of the call was that under no circumstances was an employee to get a pre-order. And the line just kind of like went silent. Across the country, silence. And I interrupted that silence with, "Are you bussing kidding me?" And I can't say the word on the stream.
I know.
But you know what it was.
You said what literally every other manager was thinking.
Exactly. And I was shocked because as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, no, get back in there. But I was still kind of raging about it because all of us, that's part of the reason that you work there is that you get to get the cool stuff, you get it first kind of thing, right? So
that's how EB GameStop gets away with treating its employees so badly. Is because they want to be doing the video games thing.
Yeah,
that's
like literally,
that's all they have going for them.
Literally, the only perk is first crack at rare trade-ins and being customer number 2 in the store-based database system and being able to get your pre-orders in before anybody else has time to run down the hall to do one.
So the kicker to this story is that, as I'm kind of on the line being like, oh God, I'm fired. I'm waiting for him to be like, okay, get out. Just drop your keys off and get out. But he actually was just he said, I'm sorry. But we have to make sure that the pre-orders go to the real gamers. And I could have shut up at that moment. I could have stopped talking, but instead I said, who do you think you employ? And I heard at least 20 people droping the phone because they were laughing or and then he's just and again he did his very diplomatic we have to customer blah, blah, blah. And he's right from a managerial point of view he is correct it should go to the customers. So I came out of the conference call. I'm like, okay, so no one
Still
is
employed.
Shockingly, I don't know how. I came out of that call out of the back room off of the call. And
First of all, how dare you?
yeah, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, what gives you the right? So, still employed, walked into the store. I'm like, so none of us can get pre-orders on PlayStation 3s. And I see a few employees because I even told them on that call people will quit over this. Just so you know how much you're screwing this over. Mm-hmm. And I said, but he didn't say anything about your significant others. So here's the deal. If they get here at butt o'clock in the morning and stand in line with everybody else to give everyone a fair shot, I will give them a pre-order. But they have to do it fair. They have to get here and stand in line and get their pre-order, and no one did it. So it turned out how they wanted it anyway. But
they felt like they had the option.
I got no less than 7 calls that day from random parts of Canada being like, thank you.
You said we were all thinking.
Also, one of our site volunteers downstairs, Peter, also worked at EBB.
Yep.
So I'm going to go see if he has a story.
Right.
Or if he wants to come on camera first of all.
And we are going to draw the draw for this.
Yes. In 18 17 seconds.
Oh, it's so warm.
Oh,
you okay, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, he's
Are you
coming
okay,
for you.
chat?
Sorry. I tripped over the cord.
Matt, this is what happens when you drop the mic.
Right? Yeah, I'm good. This will be good in a second.
Oh, desk
We'll
chime.
see it.
Absolutely. I've never had. I mean, your mileage may vary. I've never had a problem with the frontline people at EB, but from working there, let me tell you that the corporate people
There
are
we go.
utter butt faces, and it's that they never ever stand behind the customer, or sorry, behind their employees.
Never, ever,
They-
ever.
like,
stand
It would
behind
be
the
very
customer.
typical for them to send out like an email being like, "This is the new policy for X. You must do X, or you will be written up." Customer comes in and goes, "Hey, I want to do Y," and you go, "I'm sorry, we can't do that. We have to do X." And they're like, "Screw you, why? I want to do it this way. Why can't we do this?" "I'm sorry, it's company policy that we have to do X." Customer leaves, calls EB customer service, complains, and then customer service says, "I'm sorry, that employee was wrong. Go back to the store and they will fix it." Yeah. And then you get in trouble.
Yeah, and that is what boggles me, because even from a customer service point of view, there's no reason to do that.
No.
It's like, we're sorry, that employee was correctly relating company policy to you, but
You don't
we
have
will,
to throw them under the bus.
Yeah, we
How
will contact
shady
the
are we
store
getting
and arrange an
here?
exception.
Huh?
How
Please go
shamey
in and have it
of a
done.
company.
Oh, let it out.
Yeah?
This
Okay.
is our ventilation.
So, not for Desert Bus, because there was a number of reasons, but I was literally employed there just before I came out here. So, the last thing that was the snapping straw for me was when on the conference call they were discussing pre-order calls and the way that we go about doing them. And one of the things that they said was, if possible from now on, can you get your female employees only to be the ones doing the phone calls, because they are the ones who better adhere to our clientele.
Oh, I have.
Better adhere
Oh,
to
you
the
know how many times I
clientele?
was told I should be the one to push subscriptions and pre-order games?
Yeah.
Because they were like, "We're the best at it." I'm like,
No.
thanks, no.
So we had at my store, because I worked at a couple stores over 2 years, had the second one we hired a younger, so she was under 18, so you have to make a lot of, in the US, you have to make a lot of exceptions, just okay with your mic, for anyone under the age of 18. There's a lot of things you have to do about it. But she's super passionate about video games, she actually is very good at customer service, and she turned to be a great employee, so we're super happy. My assistant manager was like 29 and was unbelievably creepy. And spent
Oh, this
his-
sounds like a good combination.
Oh yeah, and he wrote the schedule while my manager was just dealing with other things. There was never a shift that she was on that he was not working. And just awful, awful things I would hear about really terrible passes.
Can we just stop this, please?
Okay.
Like, everybody has been a bad retail employee. Everybody has been a bad customer. Every single person in this room has been socially awkward or had a bad day and got mad at somebody or whatever these people did. This isn't the point of this.
Okay.
Let's do something fun.
Hey, Andrew,
Yes,
you could hit that button.
I could hit the hell out of that button.